All right, so check it out. I am at the GM Live studio, and behind me are three, yes, count them, three brand new 2025 GMC Terrains. We have the AT4, the Denali, the Elevation. Let's go over it. So here they are, the three trim levels of the 2025 GMC Terrain. Yes, these are the only trim levels that are going to be available. No more SLEs or anything like that, SLTs. We're just gonna have the Elevation, which we're seeing here, the Denali over there, and of course the AT4. Now, a whole lot has changed in these vehicles, so let's go over it. First and foremost, let's start talking about the front end design. You're gonna see what they've done is they've really pushed both sides out of this. The lights are right out of the far corners, and I think it looks really, really sharp. And it's almost like they've kind of narrowed this down a bit to give that kind of wider look. Of course, this is the Elevation. This one has what they call the black package on it, so you're gonna see it has standard 17-inch black wheels on this one. We'll talk about standard sizes of wheels and tires and things like that on the other models as we get to them. But first and foremost, we're gonna see it has the 17-inch standard wheels on this. And of course, with the black package, they're black, obviously, right? As well as everything else. Now, what you're noticing, this is the first ever, we have a two-tone roof offering in the Terrains. This is gonna be available on all three of the Terrains. And how I've been understood is if it's black, you're gonna have a silver roof. If it's any other color, you're gonna have the black roof like I'm gonna show you over there on the AT4. Side profile design definitely looks different. Although the length and everything else is, I think everything is pretty much spot on to what the old one was. I mean, there are slight differences, like an inch here, an inch there, but overall it's pretty much the same. But to me, it looks almost like it's kind of shrunken up, and I actually like that look. I'm not sacrificing anything on the interior space, but it almost looks like it's kind of, you know, shrunken up there. It looks a little more, I don't know, bold, a little more sporty. I love the kind of tail end here as well. Again, great job, pardon me, on the looks of this. We're gonna go over the interior last because I just want to talk about these other trim levels quickly while we have a moment. Oh, by the way, before I forget though, 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo underneath the hood of these, and I'll put the horsepower and torque up here on the screen as well. Denali we'll go to in a second because the next trim level up, pardon me, is the new AT4. Look at this, so you've got lighting right there. But again, AT4, you're gonna see, of course, a lot of these black contrasting accents. I'm glad they put it in the white so you can see that. This is honestly my favorite Terrain. I absolutely love the looks of this AT4. It looks a bit beefier. I'll put on the screen here, I don't have the exact dimensions, but they have lifted it up a bit, so it is gonna have a little bit more clearance than we're seeing on the other two models. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we're gonna have some different drive modes on this as well. As far as, again, the front end, no appearance changes between any of these three, other than, of course, the grille. So the grille is going to look different on this than on the Denali and on the Elevation. But I like how they've done with this. We've got, of course, got the red toe hooks down there, synonymous with the AT4, of course, right? Again, a lot of that piano black you're going to see throughout this on the mirror caps, of course, all the way around here. So on the Elevation, you'll see it's just like a grain black plastic. But of course, on this, we're seeing that piano black, which again, I really like. Talking about it personally, there's your black roof, and it's actually, if I'm looking at this is like a metallic black. It's not even just a regular black on the roof. 17-inch tires are, pardon me, wheels and tires, but wheels especially, of course, are standard on this AT4 as well. And it looks like we got a nice set of General Grabber AT tires as a standard tire on this to, again, give it a little more beef and a little more off-road-ness, I guess you would say. Unfortunately, I cannot get in these two, but I can show you. Just this way, we have AT4 badging on the seats. We're going to talk about the screen and stuff when we get in the Elevation because it's all the same in terms of the sizes. So we'll get to that when we get to the Elevation. And then, of course, heading over to the Denali, we're going to see, as we always do, you know, more chrome trims. Standard are 19-inch wheels on this one. Again, still the 1.5. They all have the same engine. But again, that Denali-esque grille we're seeing out front here, and they've added this little black in here, which I find interesting. It kind of gives it a little bit different character from that front end. Just kind of changes the depth, I think, a little bit there as well. Pano sunroof, of course, you're going to see in this. This one has this beautiful light interior here, as you can see. And there's that beautiful screen, which again, we're gonna talk about when we get to the elevation, so just hold tight here for a second. Paint matched everything you're gonna see on this, of course. So of course, paint matched all the way along there. I find it interesting that they're offering the two-tone roof actually in the Denali. I thought, you know, Denali might be excluded from that, but they are still offering it. And again, you have your polished look down here below. Now, as far as availability, and we're gonna talk about inside here in a second. But as far as availability, the AT4 and Denali aren't going to be available until next year. So of course, that's 2025, the start of. The Elevation will be the one they're delivering first. Hopefully, you know, by the, well, not hopefully, but my understanding is by the end of this year, we're going to see this one. Now, let's talk about the interior. Let's go in the back, have a look at what we've got back here. It should open for me. Oh, by the way, all-wheel drive is going to be the first one shipped as well. I don't believe front-wheel drives will be available initially either. Lots of space back here, but again, it looks very familiar to the older trim level, right? To the, not older, but the current trim level. Nice amount of storage here underneath that as well. Again, the seats are going to fold, you know, 60-40 split. I mean, all this stuff is pretty standard. One thing I know that's missing is we only have the keyless entry on the back, on the front doors, pardon, on the back. So you can get this, of course, in a cloth as well. I'm trying to remember the name of this material. I don't have it on hand right now, but I'll put it in the text below. But there is a different material. This is not leather, although it feels and looks like a leather. It's not exactly leather. And you have heated rear seats. It's an Elevation, heated rear seats, and option for, of course, that panel sunroof in this as well. But let's talk about the front of this and what changes we see here. So first and foremost, let me just get behind the wheel here. I don't know if I do the screen if it'll light up for me or not, but we'll see. Let's see if it lights up for us here. There we go. So, right over here, we're seeing this in the GMCs now, aren't we? We saw it in the Acadia. We've seen it in the Sierra EV, a vertical or portrait, however you want to call this, 15-inch diagonal screen. It actually looks way bigger in person than it might show up here on the camera. I'm going to shut this door so it's not beeping at us, by the way. But a phenomenal looking screen here. Look at this Bosch cam. Check that out. Allow Bosch cam to take picture video, record video. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't hear anything about that. But regardless, we have the piano key buttons down here, the volume button. So these are still manual. And of course you have digital. All right. Now the other thing is we've got a different shifter. So we have the EPS shifter in this one now. Of course, the older ones had, you know, the shifter wasn't there. Obviously we had the button shifters and so on. But they've gone to this now, which we're seeing in, you know, basically almost all the new models of vehicles. Obviously I got the rear hatch open. I should have shut that. Maybe it showed us things a little bit better. But we still have our brights and stuff are up here. The control of that. We have our all-wheel drive system up in here now. Drive modes are here. What I love here is this new wireless charging system, which is right tucked in here. And then for storage, we have here, let me see if I can, oh, maybe this might not lift up. Again, these are all pre-pros. So, oh, there we go, sorry. So that lifts up, you get the storage there. Looks to me like we have a rear vision camera mirror in this as well. Standard features, by the way, standard even in this model, you're gonna have the ability to have heated steering wheel, not ability, it's gonna come standard with it. Heated steering wheel and heated seats. And it's also gonna have the adaptive cruise control as a standard as well. Also 15 standard safety features. And check this out. We even have the navigation in the screen in front of us. I mean, how cool is that, right? I don't know why this is telling us to do this, but let's just get this off here for a second. And yeah, so again, you have the navigation here. Again, that big beautiful touchscreen over here. I am honestly really impressed with what they have done with this new 2025 GMC Terrain. Stay tuned for more.